Hello, everyone. I would reiterate a lot of what Lauren said. This has been a fast-moving project, a lot of moving pieces, and as she said, I'm an operations person, so I'm used to trying to put puzzle pieces together. And as anyone who works in the nonprofit world knows, that a lot of things are last minute, so it's not a new venture, but this has been, while a lot of work, very exciting for us. I sit on both of those committees that Lauren mentioned, the Hunger Council and the Food Subcommittee of Upper Valley Strong. And she's right, we saw this incredible opportunity and did not want the Upper Valley to be left out of it. And so I think there was a lot of heavy pushing of some of us on Vital Communities to take the lead, which we are very grateful for. And Lauren's expertise has been wonderful, working with partner restaurants. I think that's something that those of us who work in the food insecurity world aren't as familiar with. And this has been an opportunity to try to join those worlds, the for-profit world and the food insecurity world. And I too am looking forward to being able to continue that past this project, hopefully with a continuation of this project, but if not, in other ways as well. But when I look at what this project has been able to do, I think it's been another example of Vermont's innovative ideas of let's kind of, deal with multiple issues with one bag of money. So helping restaurants, farmers, but also helping people that are food insecure, whether it's been a long-term need or something related to COVID. I'm sure many of you have seen the studies that UVM has been doing about food insecurity and how in Vermont it's risen by 33% since March. So, they're averaging 1 in 4 people in Vermont food insecure. But if you look at the unemployment rates or reduced numbers, there's a lot of need. There wasn't a lot of need before, but there's even more need now. So these programs are vital, I think, because we're providing nutritious food to people. One of the things about food insecurity isn't just having enough food, but it's having enough quality, nutritious food. Because, you can fill up on ramen noodles and junk food that's cheap, but it doesn't mean it's healthy, nutritious, and gonna provide the right kind of support that you need to live, a healthy life and to be productive. So that's one of the things that I've been so thankful about this project is that we're providing, balanced meals to people, proteins, carbs, and vegetables. They're healthy portions. They're not, gluttonous portions, which, every once in a while is okay, but they're not gluttonous portions. They are, like a healthy dinner portion. And providing people access to food that they might not normally experience. Like, I don't go to Simon Pierce very often. I don't go to piecemeal pies, but like thinking about the people that we're serving, and while they're not all food and insecure and poverty stricken, we've got housebound, homebound seniors, things, but it's still giving people opportunities to experience a lot of the nice things in our community. And anytime we can kind of combine all of those things, I think it's just a win-win for everybody around. What I'd love to see, we talk about this at the Haven, and the management of this as, I'm working remotely now, so it's been a little easier for me. But of, continuing to look at this and continual improvement. And I think, Lauren, Larry, and I have talked about that as well. So we're excited about possibilities and whatever venues this may go in the future. So yeah, I'll leave it there.
Hi, everybody. Larry Lowndes, Listen Community Services. I run the dinner program there. And I just have to say, first of all, I'll give a shout out to Lauren, who got me up to speed, because I've only been doing this now for a couple months. I come from the for-profit world and have a lot of experience with food service my whole life, either producing it or selling it for Black River, Burlington Food Service when it was around, Upper Valley Produce. I know a lot of the chefs that that are working with us with Everything Eats, and a lot of the employees there as well. And I just, before I forget to talk about this, I just want to mention, because Jennifer mentioned the food quality. The quality is something else. I've always looked at food as a commodity, as dollars and cents, and it's like, how much does it cost to put a meal on the plate? And then what kind of profit you're going to have? You're going to be able to pay your employees. So I have a pretty good idea what these individual meals cost the restaurants that are providing them. And you can see that they are not in it really to make the money. I mean, of course they are. They have to make money to survive, but they are very generous with their costs. And the local meats that are being used, we all know that, like, we all love to eat local all the time, but it can get very expensive. It can get very expensive. And for these guys to continue to use local purveyors to put the food into the containers, that's just, it says a lot. They could take a lot of shortcuts if they wanted to. They don't appear to be doing that. So I just wanted to bring that up. Personally, coming from the for-profit world into this, I just, what was it Lauren said, the strength of community or something like that. I am just amazed at how this all came together and that it's there for people. And because I am seeing the people walk up to the door and get the food, I can see often gratitude in their eyes. I can see people who are wearing ski clothes because they sleep in a tent in this weather. I see relief sometimes in people's eyes. It's just, they are so happy to have this this program available. And I honestly, I don't know what they'd do without it. I really don't know what the next thing in line would be. So from a company point of view, talking with management here at Listen, you know, it's the fact that we can, you know, before COVID happened, we had volunteers running the food service program mostly. They would come in, they'd cook, they'd serve the meals. That all disappeared with COVID, which meant that we had to hire some people. And this Everyone Eats program allows us to continue to work with a couple volunteers, but not have to really pay a lot of people to be around to help distribute the food. And when we don't have volunteers, that means we would be stealing the money from other programs that Listen have, you know, with housing vouchers and all sorts of different programs that we have. Everyone Eats allows us to, at least for the time being, hold our costs down and not have to cannibalize our other departments. But I'll tell you, it's just, again, I'm going to go back to what people look like when they're receiving the food. And they, you know, and you see them pack it. Sometimes, you know, it might be their breakfast the next morning and lunch afterward too. They're really dependent on this and respectful. I have not had one problem handing this out. I haven't had one person be rude or cut in line or, you know, say, I don't want this food, I want that food. It's just been all around a hit. So again, thank you, Lauren, for getting this all together, and I hope it can continue. Thanks.
Everybody, good afternoon, and thank you for letting me participate in this very interesting and informative gathering we have here. As sales manager at the Comfort Inn, I've sort of inherited the role to kind of work with our guests, displaced guests that we have here. And a couple of things I did want to say. This is something very new for the hotel, of course, because our guests, for the most part, come from outside the area, or their business corporate guests that we have. And of course, we have our additional sports teams that come in every year, and in fact it's year round because of a proximity to a lot of sports venues. So it's been quite a change for us since March to have as our guest folks that are displaced, and I refer to them as our guest. So we have folks staying with us in the hotel. The owner of the Comfort Inn also owns the Super 8, and so between the Super 8 and the Comfort Inn, we have we are hosting about 120 families. The Comfort Inn has, in addition to our guests that come from the 211 program, we do have referrals from Listen and Haven, and we also just recently began to have several veterans coming and staying with us, which is it's very interesting to look at the different layers and talk to these people. I try to interface with as many as I can. I don't always see all of them, but I certainly try to do this as much as I can. I think the most important thing is, like, I like to say that I think we've kind of created a three-legged stool here, because the hotel now can provide, we put food on the table, we put a roof over their heads, and we keep the families together. And I think out of that has come some sense of normalcy for these people. They're living in for the majority of them, are living in a world that they did not plan to live in. And this is something very new. So they've had to adapt. Not only have we had to adapt, but they have had to adapt as well. So it's been a learning a learning curve for all of us. I do want to say that a couple of things, particularly about our guests. They are so appreciative of anything and everything that we've been able, and the community's been able to provide. Of course, food is, the shelter and food are extremely important to them. And I don't know how many times I'll see them during the course of my day, and they'll comment on the fact how much they appreciate having the dinners brought in, and the fact that the dinners are always very well done. The food has been excellent. We here have, at the hotel, we have added some fresh fruit, because we have families with small children. So we have added some fresh fruit, bananas and oranges. And the little ones particularly, and we have a lot of little ones, I would say, under the age of 4. I think we have a set of twins, we have a couple of babies, and we have some teenagers. So it's quite a cross section, but they love the bananas. So that's been particularly popular. One thing that I did want to say was, among our guests, as I said, we've had veterans, and we have had 2 different cases where the veterans that have come to us, the 2 gentlemen that came to us, were in 4th stage cancer diagnosis. And both of them have since left and have been able to find housing with family. But amongst all of the trials and tribulations they went through, and have probably still going through, and we try to keep in touch with them, with some of them if we can, they time and time again spoke about how not only was the lodging so important to them, but the sense of community, and the fact that they were able to create here within the hotel with that sense of community, and food being right up there. Very often what they would get together, 2 or 3 of them would get together after the meals were brought in, and they'd have dinner. When the weather was nice, they'd go outside and have a little picnic with the food that was brought in. The other thing that one of the other things I wanted to comment on or share with you was, I did want to share with you the fact that about the veterans that were here and a couple of situations we had, but particularly the children. We're seeing more now. The weather has turned colder, and of course we're seeing more of the little ones. And time and time again, they are the ones who will come up to the front desk staff and want to know if dinner's here yet, or they'll call down from their rooms, wanting to know if dinner is here. The other piece that has been important, this probably doesn't relate too much to the food insecurity, but another thing that is extremely important for these families is to have their pets. We are a pet-friendly hotel, and there are not many in the area that are pet-friendly, and we do not charge a fee for pets. So not only are our 2-legged friends being taken care of, but we also make sure that our 4-legged friends are being taken care of as well. So it's a wonderful program. I'm hoping that it can continue after the end of the year, and if there's anything that we can do from our end, please let us know.
So just a quick backstory on us. We're pretty new. We literally started in totes as a COVID relief type food resource, which over quickly a couple of months, we grew into this beautiful pantry that Cover helped us build. And we are really unique because we're located outside. Our pantry is outside of our building and it's available 24/7 for anybody who needs it. We don't collect any information from anyone, and anybody who feels they need food can come at any point to get it from us. We're really fortunate because getting that nutritious food out to our many, the wide variety of people that we serve at our location, it was really important to us, and we were able to work with the Hartford Community Coalition earlier in the spring, and then Willing Hands for the last few months, which has been amazing. And Everyone Eats has only continued that for us. We see so many different types of people, from families and young kids, teenagers swinging by after school to grab food for their families for dinner, seniors, everybody in between. And I think it fills a really unique niche that other places don't necessarily have the opportunity to do. Likewise, these meals are so they're really crucial for us. We see so many folks that don't have any way to necessarily cook, and this provides so much for them. And we just feel really lucky that we're a part of it. And without it, we would not be able to offer the same level of support as we currently do. So we are very appreciative and also hope that it gets extended because it's made a huge impact in our little corner of the world.